Hello, I'm your reader Mary, here with you today, July 15th, 2025 with the New Bedford Standard Times. Let's start off with the weather. Today we'll have some thunderstorms around in the morning. A high of 81 and a low of 68. Wednesday, mostly sunny and humid, high of 86 and a low of 73. Thursday will be cloudy and uncomfortably humid, high of 86 and a low of 73. Friday will have thunderstorms around in the evening, high of 93, low of 68. And Saturday, partly sunny, less humid, high of 84 and a low of 64. Let's check out the front page. Our first front page story, 9 people killed in Sunday night fire. More than 30 injured at Gabriel House Assisted Living Center. Out of Fall River, 9 people have died and 30 were injured in a fire at Gabriel House Assisted Living Center, July 13th, according to Fall River Fire Chief Jeffrey Bacon. Bacon said Fall River Fire Department crews responded to the fire at about 9:30 p.m. Sunday, July 13th. When crews arrived on scene, they saw heavy fire and multiple people hanging out of the windows looking to be rescued. He said multiple people were rescued from the apartment and transported to local hospitals for treatment. The cause has not yet been identified. Bacon said Monday morning the notification process for those who have died is ongoing. The scene was still chaotic Monday morning on the narrow South End street where firefighters and law enforcement officials were milling in and out of the building, which showed signs of charring at its main entrance. Ringing the building were air conditioning units, many pushed out of the windows and dumped to the ground below. Bacon said the number of window AC units made rescues difficult. More than half of the building's approximately 70 residents had to be evacuated either through windows or out the doors. Many were physically carried out because of mobility issues. Fall River firefighters standing outside Gabriel House on July 14th after a fire in the building killed 9 residents and injured more than 30 people. The windows that would have affected the best rescues had the ACs in them, so rescues had to be done through smaller windows, Bacon said. I would venture to guess that there were more rescues out of this building last night than there have been in the 23 years that I've been a firefighter combined. Complicating the fire investigation scene was the need for security. With many residents on prescription medication and the scene still chaotic with many residents milling around, windows were open and Bacon said it could be a tempting target for thieves. Within an hour, all medications will be removed from this building, said Bacon. This building will be of no value to anyone in an hour. Are there funds to help the residents and their families? Sharon Schoonover of the Firefighters' Wives Association said no one has reached out in search of aid as of 8:30 a.m. on Monday, but she plans to set something up for families of victims impacted by the fire. She pointed to St. Anne's Hospital Chapel, which can be reached at 508-674-5741. That's St. Anne's Hospital Chapel, 508-674-5741, for those seeking information or support. According to a press release from the Fall River Fire Department, the chapel may be accessed through the emergency department. Can residents get their medication? Bacon said all assisted living facilities' medical records were on paper file folders. We just carried out a bunch of medical records, Bacon said. The room they were stored in was salvaged, so we were able to get all those records down so they can get medications for all the displaced people. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey issues a statement on the Fall River fire. Quote, "The fire at Gabriel House in Fall River is a tragedy," Massachusetts Governor Healey said in a written statement. "My heart goes out to all those who are waking up to the most horrific news imaginable about their loved ones this morning. I'm grateful to the firefighters and first responders whose heroic efforts saved lives. We are all praying for those who lost loved ones and for the full recovery of those who were injured. I've expressed my condolences to Mayor Coogan and offered the full assistance of the state. A full investigation is underway. I know the people of Fall River are strong and resilient, and now is the time for us all to come together to support one another through this terrible tragedy. Healy also reiterated a family reunification center at St. Anne's Hospital in the chapel. They're asking that anyone who goes there looking for information about a loved one should enter through the emergency department of the hospital. They can also call 508-674-5741 for information. That's 508-674-5741 for the family reunification line. How many people lived at Gabriel House? Well, there are 70 residents of the apartment complex at 261 Oliver Street off South Main Street in the city's South End. Where were residents evacuated to? Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan said the city opened the Timeo Center shelter on Bay Street, and residents who were evacuated were being sent to the shelter for the evening. Where is that reunification center? The fire department has set up a family reunification center at St. Anne's Hospital in the chapel. They're asking that anyone who goes there looking for information about a loved one should enter through the emergency department of the hospital. They can also call 508-674-5741 for information. What we know about the fire department response. The fire chief Bacon said about 50 firefighters responded to the multiple alarm fire, and mutual aid was called to cover the situation. The fire attack was very quick. It was just a very smoky fire, said Bacon. The fire went to 5 alarms, drawing about 50 firefighters to the scene, including about 30 who were off duty, according to the Mass Department, the State Fire Marshal's office. Our heart goes out to all the families and people who were injured here and lost their lives here. Who will be investigating the fire? Bacon said investigators from FRFD and the State Fire Marshal's office are on scene investigating the cause of the fire. As of Monday evening, the bodies of those who were killed in the fire remained in the building. In addition to those organizations, the state police assigned to the Fire Marshal's office and the state police assigned to the Bristol DA's office are also investigating. They are assisted by code compliance officers from the Department of Fire Services. Coogan praised the coordinated effort of the fire and police departments and emergency medical assistance in responding to the fire. Donut factory closing, but new project in the works. After 8 years of serving up unique, handmade treats in the South Coast, the donut factory shared some bittersweet news. The popular family-run destination for sweet and savory bites announced in a Facebook post on Thursday, July 10th, it will be closing its doors in Fairhaven come the fall. But sit tight, Donut Factory fans, because this isn't goodbye, it's a new beginning. That was the teased message from Jackie Webb and her sister Katie. The Westport residence is closing the eatery with locations in Fairhaven and Dartmouth to embark on something even bigger and better. The pair offered a hint of what's to come with the unveiling of a new logo for Fork Yeah, handcrafted food and drinks, an indication that the go-to for gourmet donuts is looking to rebrand and expand well beyond its signature sweets. We're working behind the scenes on a brand new concept with an exciting menu, fresh vibes, brand new location coming your way soon, reads the post. The Donut Factory, who has been featured on the New England foodie show Phantom Gourmet, has built a name for itself for nearly a decade in Greater New Bedford. What started as a hobby and a passion for the Swansea native Jackie Webb eventually gave rise to a full-blown business that got its start on Rockdale Avenue in New Bedford before moving to its current home at 7 Howland Road in Fairhaven in 2019. April 2024, Webb branched out with a second express location at 246 State Road in Dartmouth, just 5 minutes away from its flagship shop. The smaller site offers carry-out service and a more focused menu of their Fairhaven favorites. Fresh gourmet donuts, creations like that are their mainstay, but they're also known for their crazy milkshakes, special X Factor iced coffee, lattes, steam pockets, linguiça, and cheese rolls. While local patrons were saddened at the latest Donut Factory update, they also expressed excitement for new things in store. We're incredibly grateful for all the support, laughter, and memories you've shared with us. Your loyalty means the world, and we can't wait to welcome you back to experience what's next, the web said. According to the Donut Factory, the Dartmouth location is already closed. Fairhaven will be closing in September. You can still grab all your Donut Factory favorites at 7 Howland Road, Fairhaven until then. It'll be open Monday to Wednesday, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., Thursday, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Folks are advised to check the Donut Factory's Facebook page for forthcoming details on Fork Yeah. I promise it'll be worth the wait, the post reads. Bristol County inmates say life's cooler with AC at the Women's Center. Out of Dartmouth. Adding air conditioning to housing units in anticipation of hot summer months and temperatures in the 90s would seem a non-controversial notion, unless you run a jail. Bristol County Sheriff Paul Heroux acknowledged that bringing air conditioning to the Bristol County House of Correction Women's Center will have its critics in today's political climate. He notes two things, though. One, the House of Correction already had AC prior to his election as sheriff in 4 of the house's 22 housing units. They were built with AC after construction of the main campus. And, he said, staff requested that air conditioning be added to the Women's Center in 2023. Heroux asked, should correction officers be deprived of a comfortable work environment? He said in the past, the Women's Center floors became slippery from summer humidity. Staff and inmates were both miserable in the heat. That can lead to tempers flaring, inmate fights, and possible officer injuries. Heroux said it also takes away from the effectiveness of inmate education and health programs where the visiting instructors are not immune to the high temperatures. High temps also lead to heat-related health complications among staff and inmates. Expiring federal COVID money was used to purchase the units. In August 2024, Heroux's office began installing air conditioning units at Dartmouth housing units. Heroux said the jail used expiring federal COVID funding to purchase mini-split AC units with heat pumps for the Women's Center. They can also help out with heat in the winter. They cost about $3,000 apiece. Installing central air would have cost $3 million. 3 inmates provided by Heroux agreed to describe their feelings on the new, now cooler living quarters. A staff member also agreed to discuss the new AC units, but he didn't want to be named. Alicia LeBlanc said, when it gets hot in here, the walls sweat. It's like a swamp. She added, and when it gets really hot, people get irritated, people get frustrated, and she said the addition of AC has brought good vibes. When the inmates are good, the COs are good. You get good vibes, LeBlanc said. We go with the flow through our day. It's a big change, a huge change. Lorianne Medeiros said, I think it's great, especially when it's really hot outside. You come back inside and it's refreshing. It's not so hot and muggy, she joked. You might see people that may not want to move out, but it makes a big difference. Alyssa Lafferty said, this makes for an amazing difference for us. She added, nobody likes to be hot. Nobody likes to be uncomfortable. This is definitely better. A positive thing. Rafferty said, smiling, I really don't have a choice, but I wouldn't want to do it without the AC, that's for sure. The staff member said, air conditioning absolutely makes a difference, especially when working overtime. When you're sitting and working for 16 hours, you don't want to be sitting there in sweat. Heroux said he plans to bring AC to the larger housing units through commission money on inmate commissary purchases. The account is currently over $1.5 million, and the money has to be used on something that will benefit the inmates. AC qualifies. He noted that recent changes to state law no longer allow jails or the Department of Correction to collect a commission on inmate commissary. He added they're putting up solar panels on the roof to power the AC units, and up to about 50% of the jail's current electrical consumption. Heroux said it will take about another 1 to 2 years for all the housing units to have air conditioning. And we're at the midpoint, so we will have our one obituary. It is out of New Bedford. Paul R. Bernier, 69 years old, of New Bedford, passed away peacefully on July 4th, 2025, surrounded by loved ones. He was born May 13th, 1956, in New Bedford, and was the beloved son of the late Gerald and Alice Bernier. He was a devoted father, partner, grandfather, brother, and friend, known for his positivity, generosity, and sharp wit. He was a skilled storyteller and mechanic, and he began working at 15 as a mechanic in Joe England's gas station, rebuilding Volkswagen Bugs. He was a self-taught sailor and had a passion for the ocean. He's survived by his fiancée, Dr. Trine Erickson, and his children. A memorial mass will be held on Thursday, July 17th, at 11 a.m. in St. John Newman Church, 157 Middleborough Road, East Freetown, Mass. Relatives and friends are invited. To leave a note of condolence, visit www.rock-funeralhome.com. What the HERO Act means for South Coast veterans and families. Secretary John Santiago from the Executive Office of Veteran Services will visit New Bedford for a town hall meeting with local veterans to discuss the HERO Act, according to a community announcement. The event will be held on July 17th at 11 a.m. at the New Bedford Whaling Museum, 18 Johnny Cake Hill. The HERO Act, officially titled An Act Honoring, Empowering, and Recognizing Our Service Members and Veterans, aims to make significant changes and investments in the lives of veterans by broadening the definition of veteran to expand benefits eligibility and better align with federal law. The bill also addresses critical areas such as expanding access to behavioral health treatment, increasing benefits for disabled veterans, supporting businesses that hire veterans, expanding the Veterans Equality Review Board scope, and codifying medical and dental benefits. Representative Antonio F.D. Cabral, a Democrat of New Bedford, Representative Chris Hendricks, a Democrat of New Bedford, announced the event. The HERO Act made significant expansions to the benefits and resources available to veterans. It's important that veterans in New Bedford and across the South Coast have access to this critical information that will improve their lives, Cabral said. In the announcement, he went on to say, I wish to extend my gratitude to Secretary Santiago for the meeting with our local veterans and his commitment to an inclusive conversation. Hendricks also expressed his gratitude to Santiago and his team for participating in the town hall. The HERO Act is a transformative law for veterans and their families, offering increased and new benefits for those who bravely put their lives on the line to protect our country, and we are thrilled Secretary Santiago is joining us at the Whaling Museum to discuss the law with local area veterans, Hendricks said. Representative Christopher Markey, a Democrat from Dartmouth, and Representative Mark Sylvia, a Democrat from Fairhaven, also voiced their support for the event. I want to share my deep thanks and appreciation to Secretary John Santiago for coming to New Bedford, for meeting with our veterans, Markey said in the announcement. The HERO Act, a long overdue reform to the veterans' benefits in the Commonwealth, carries on Massachusetts' tradition of providing best-in-the-nation veterans' benefits to those who so selflessly served our communities and nation. I encourage all local veterans to take this opportunity to attend, ensure they receive their full, duly earned benefits, and share their thoughts and perspectives with the New Bedford delegation. Sylvia added that the event is a great opportunity for veterans to ask questions and learn about the services and programs they qualify for. I'm glad to join my fellow Greater New Bedford colleagues in hosting the Secretary Santiago at the Whaling Museum for this important forum on the HERO Act and services and benefits available to our veterans, said Sylvia. Taking care of our veterans is a top priority in Massachusetts. Supporting them with information and programs is critical. Mystic girls find comfort in each other. Alumni seek the familiar after the deadly Texas floods. The first time Allie Coates ran barefoot across the buffalo grass at Camp Mystic, she was 8 years old. Her tiny strides nestled among cypress trees near the Guadalupe River. She caught a catfish, mailed her first letter, and learned to ride a horse. 13 summers later, she was still there, this time as a counselor, teaching 8-year-old girls how to swim and fish, French braid hair, and play guitar. She can still see herself as the shy girl snuggled under the hot pink comforter, her name embroidered in white across her bunk in the Bubble Inn. It's the same cabin where this year 13 girls and their counselors were swept away in a 4th of July flood in Texas Hill Country. In all, 27 children and staff from Camp Mystic died, along with at least 120 in the state. Today, her Los Angeles apartment smells like chocolate chips and oatmeal. She's finding comfort in baking Tweety cookies, named after camp director Tweety Eastland, whose husband died in the flood, trying to get girls to higher ground. She's 25 years old now, a social media manager, and is wearing a silver bracelet filled with charms from her time at camp, including an M for the most improved at canoeing. She pulls out her camp Bible and reads from crumpled papers in her bubbled teenage handwriting, Matthew 5:16, "Be a light for all to see." As Coates' mom drove her to camp from Dallas every year, she began to relax. The highway cut through scrubby desert that turned to flat, gentle hills with mesquite trees. It was a place that felt timeless, away from selfies, boys, and social media. Mystic girls, as the former campers call themselves, are mourning what was lost. The girls beginning their camp journeys and their counselors who tried to save them. The innocence of a place and time where they say they found the best version of themselves and a place that made them who they are. It was a safe space to be weird and awkward, where we could just be silly and be ourselves, Coates said, just to be girls. In the weeks since the flood, as they hear heartbreaking stories of loss, generations of Mystic girls across the country are turning to each other. They're hosting prayer vigils and fundraisers. They're sharing photos. In the weeks since the flood, and they hear heartbreaking stories of loss, generations of Mystic girls across the country are turning to each other. They're hosting prayer vigils and fundraisers, sharing photos and favorite stories. They're seeking the familiar that takes them back to camp. In 1987, Julia Hawthorne first arrived at Camp Mystic. She followed her older sister, who had followed their aunt, who had gone to the camp in the 1970s. Hawthorne later became a counselor at the camp, teaching girls what she had learned. Her cousins went to Camp Mystic in the 1990s. When she was pregnant in 2006 and she learned she was having a girl, the first thing she told her sister, "Oh my gosh, she can go to Mystic." Her second daughter, Presley, would be born 4 years later, also a Mystic girl. Her 2 nieces are in 2nd grade and registered to attend next year, if the camp reopens for what will be its 100th anniversary. The songs we sang at camp every day, they're the same songs my aunt learned and my daughters learned, said Hawthorne, 49 years old and a dentist in Austin. There's some comfort in that right now. Girls often look for their grandmother's names written on cabin ceilings. That's a tradition dating back to when the camp moved all girls in 1939. There are so many names and so little space, the girls now often write on plaques that line the cabin walls. The camp opened in 1926, and 3 generations of the same family have been running it. Each summer, about 2,000 girls from 8 to 18 attend the camp over 3 sessions. The days during the 4 weeks at camp are measured by sunsets with rituals and traditions, the same ones their mothers had. Brooklyn Hawthorne learned to ride horses in the same place her mom did. She slept in the same cabins and ate chocolate chip cookies from the same recipe. It's the only world in which she and her mom could share the exact same experience, not bound by space and time. You feel like you're in your own little world, said Brooklyn, 19 and now a sophomore at the University of Texas in Austin. You don't have to worry about boys. You don't have to worry about your phones. You don't even want them. You have your camp friends. And while the camp is Christian, it also draws girls who are agnostic and Jewish, and some who are atheist. What drives everything about the camp are the 3 tenets that women say they still try to live by beyond the green gates of Camp Mystic. Be a better person, let camp bring out the best in you, and grow spiritually. On Sundays, the girls wear white and go to a worship service on the banks of the Guadalupe, the river that washed away so much, where they sit with their cabin mates and sing a cappella. Sunday evenings, the older girls read Vespers and share their gratitude. There's something about the beauty of Camp Mystic. You just feel God's presence when you're there, Julia Hawthorne said. And while Coates often struggled with friends in high school, Camp Mystic was a refuge where she could be herself. The opportunity to unplug, get off my phone, be in nature, and to be with people who genuinely care about you was one of the best experiences I ever had, she said. No matter what was going on, I always had Mystic to look forward to. The girls she met at 8 were still her friends. This, she said, made campers more like family. You got to know them when they were little, so there was less judgment than when you meet girls as teenagers. She thought about the girls the camp lost this year. The girls who won't get to use the cute bedding they picked out and used year after year. And the parents who will retrieve their colorful trunks, but not their girls. It feels impossible. She looks for the good as the camp taught her, and she takes comfort in knowing that all those girls, just like she did each night under her same hot pink comforter, drifted to sleep their last night to taps playing over the camp loudspeaker and a message at 10:30 p.m. Good night, Camp Mystic. We love you. And let's end on a lighter note. Panera unveils a mac and cheese lip balm. If you're a fan of Panera's mac and cheese, you may want to read this and pucker up. The bakery, cafe, fast casual restaurant chain announced on July 9th it has partnered with beauty brand Holler and Glow to launch an unexpected product equally indulgent and playful just in time for National Mac and Cheese Day, which was July 14th. The brands concocted 2 lip balms inspired by Panera's popular mac and cheese bread bowls. The scents and promotional descriptions are Smack My Day, a golden mac and cheese scented balm that's as rich and favorite and satisfying as your favorite spoonful. And Get That Bread, a toasty bread scented balm with a soft brown hue invoking the scent of fresh baked bread with every swipe. Panera said the 2 balms bring cozy carb-inspired comfort to your beauty routine. Each box comes with one scented balm and the spoon-shaped applicator. Customers get the balms exclusively at Amazon and the Panera shop for $8 while supplies last. For our first foray into the beauty world, it only made sense to start with a Panera classic, mac and cheese and bread bowl, reimagining it as a sensational lip balm duo, said Mark Shambora, Chief Marketing Officer at Panera Bread. The chain's mac and cheese lip balm is its latest foray into the fashion and beauty space. Earlier this year, Panera unveiled the Croissant Clutch, which the company described as the bread experts' take on the it bag of the season. The Clutch was a limited edition croissant-shaped bag that says it's equal parts style and function. It was listed for sale in late April for $39.50. However, it's no longer available. This has been the New Bedford Standard Times, today, July 15th, 2025. I'm your reader, Mary, wishing you good health, be well, and we'll talk again next week.